beautiful ship. And that ship has boards made of fir trees from Shinar. And that ship has masts made of cedars of Lebanon. And that ship has oars made of oak from Bashan. And that ship has benches made of ivory, perhaps from India. What a ship! What a beautiful ship. And then it says linen from Egypt and fabrics from Elisha, Elishaa, which means Italy. Fabrics from Elisha, or Italy. Now get this. Here's a ship with the boards made of fir trees from Mount Hermon, and the mast made of cedars from Lebanon, and the oars made of the best oak from Bashan, and the benches made of ivory from India, and they used linen from Egypt and fabrics from Italy. And then he said no to that. On this ship, we're going to have the best mariners we can find. We're going to have mariners from Arvad. That was an island of giants. Strong, husky mariners. Giants, if you please. They said we're going to have some sailors from the Zidonians. The Zidonians were the best sailors in all the world. They were known for their being good sailors. The best sailors. They said we're going to have some mariners from the Gamadines. They were courageous people. Now, God said, look. He said, look, people, I want to show you a beautiful ship. It's the kind you're traveling on. The boards are firs from Mount Hermon. And the masts are made from the cedars of Lebanon. And the oars are made with oaks from Bashan. And the benches are made with ivory from India. And the decoration is of linen from Egypt and fabrics from Italy. Now I'm going to choose for this ship the strongest, the most courageous, and the wisest of all the mariners you can find. What a ship! And then God goes a little further along and He says, that ship, so beautiful, He says, thy rowers have brought thee into great waters. The east wind hath broken thee in the midst of the seas. Thy riches and thy fares, thy merchandise, thy mariners, thy pilots, thy caulkers, and the occupiers of thy merchandise, and all thy men of war that are in thee, and all in thy company, which are in the midst of thee, shall fall in the midst of the sea in the day of great ruin. God is saying, what difference does it make how convenient and comfortable your life is if you die and go to hell? What difference does it make what kind of ship on which you're traveling if the dark night's going to come, and the storm is going to come, and the lightning flashes, and the thunder roars, and the wind comes through, and all of a sudden a shipwreck takes place? It won't matter when the ship is wrecked whether you had wood from or boards from Shinar or Mount Hermon or not. It won't matter in the storm whether or not you had oak from Bashan for oars. It won't matter in the storm whether you had masts made of cedars of Lebanon. It won't matter in the storm whether you had benches made of ivory from India. It won't matter in the storm whether you had fabric from Italy or linen from Egypt or mariners who are wise and strong and courageous. It won't matter. He said you won't care while you're dying what kind of ship you traveled in. It won't matter while you fall and that ship crumbles what it was made of. The only thing that'll matter is where you're going. And it ends in bad waters, and a storm rises, and if you, it doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, all Satan's ships are like that. All Satan's ships are like that. Young people, all the devil's ships are like that. Men, all the devil's ships are like that. Women, all the devil's ships are like that. Every ship that Satan owns knows no good harbors. Satan's ships always are beautiful. The most beautiful commercials you'll find are Satan's commercials. But they're beautiful ships which end in shipwreck. All the taverns you'll find are beautiful. And the beer may be exciting. And the women may be exotic. And the dope may be lifting. And the rock music may be inspiring. But every ship the devil owns in his entire fleet knows not where it's going and knows no good harbors and no good destinations. Last Sunday evening, after the service, I went to my office and the line was there a mile and a half long, it looked like. I know I stayed here till almost midnight. But I was looked down in the line and saw a young lady whom I love very much. She grew up in this church. She's married now and moved away to another state. I recall the hopes and dreams I had for her. I recall the counseling sessions I had with her. I recall all the advice I gave to her about her future. But in spite of all I said, she decided she wanted to get on the devil's ship. She looked at the devil's ship and she said, look at those boards. They have the finest fur. She looked at the devil's ship and she said, look at those masts. The most beautiful cedars make those masts. She looked at the devil's ship and she said, look at those oars made of the strongest oak known to man. She looked at Satan's ship and she said, look at those decorations. Look at those benches of ivory. Look at the linen from Egypt. Look at the fabric from Italy. Look at those strong men on that ship. And this young lady, like far too many young ladies do, decided to get on the devil's ship, not caring where it went. She got in the wrong crowd. She married the wrong kind of fellow. She forsook every teaching her pastor taught her, every teaching that we taught her for these years, though she grew up from infancy in this church. Last Sunday night she was here, back for a visit. She came to my office. I said, I'm so glad to see you. She said, Brother Hyles, just came by to tell you I love you. That sounded like she always was. She used to come by and say, Brother Hyles, I love you and I'm thankful you're my preacher. And I said, are you moving back to the area? She said, yes. I said, wonderful, wonderful. I want to meet your husband. She bowed her head and she said, he's not coming. And then I knew what it was. I said, you mean? She said, that's right. She said, I didn't listen to what you said. Beautiful ship. Lights on the ship were beautiful. The clanging of the glass of liquor. They sound mighty good. And the touch of the red wine to your lips. What excitement. And that rock music that goes inside your bones and gets inside your nerves and gives you excitement and thrill. How wonderful! Ladies and gentlemen, before you board that ship, you better look up and see where it's going. You better look up and see the destination. She did not know that ship was going to lead her with a broken home. She did not know that ship was going to leave her someday in the harbor of loneliness. She did not know that at the tender age probably of 20 or 21, she did not know she'd be left with nobody to help her but the same preacher who tried to guide her years and years ago. And I told her, I said, when you get back, I'll help you. God knows I will. I'll help you. Oh, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. The devil's ship is a beautiful ship, but it always leads to destruction. Music may sound beautiful, but it always leads to destruction. Listen, nobody will ever turn out right go in the rock music crowd. Never will. Never will. Nobody will ever turn out right go in the liquor drinking crowd. Nobody will ever turn out right going the immoral route. Those ships that the devil has in his harbor that look so luring and so beautiful, they end up with shipwreck and storm. You just give me that old ship of Zion that keeps going along. Maybe the wood's not as pretty as the wood of the devil's ship. Maybe the masts are not as strong as the mast of the devil's ship. Maybe the benches are not like ivory like the devil's ship has. But blessed be God, the ship ends up in heaven. That's where I want to go. Now, like old Sam Jones used to say, I'd rather ride a kiddie car to heaven than ride an airplane to hell. And so the wise man Ezekiel said, as God inspired him, he said, and folks in this room, dozens of you, right now, you've listened to the devil's temptation. You've listened to his publicity. You've seen his dirty lying advertisement. You believed it. You go with the devil's crowd and drink with the devil's crowd and curse with the devil's crowd and live in sin with the devil's crowd. I know what it looks like. I know the lights are bright. I know the commercials are pretty. I know there's a thrill and a tingle for a moment. But you mark it down, ladies and gentlemen, you get on that ship and shipwrecks just across the water. The storm's going to come. The night's going to come. The rough time is going to come. So many times I hear the same story. And you're a fool to stay on that ship. You're a fool. This building is not as beautiful as the devil has to offer. And our signs out in front and our lights are not as beautiful as the devil has to offer. And I'll be quite frank with you, I'm no Johnny Carson myself, thank God. And I'm not in danger of unseating. I'm trying to think of some famous movie star. The last one I went to see was Buck Rogers. I'm not any, is there a Rick Newman movie star? Paul Newman. Boy, you are crazy. You're an idiot. That's all it is to it. I'm no Paul Newman. I got a photo one. I'm no Rock Hudson. The only thing I have like Rod Hudson's, our hair is a great deal alike. Both of mine look like all of his. Now, and this book here doesn't have any centerfold in the middle of it, bless God. Sort of black. And the lights don't flash on and off outside at night. And the ship is not quite as comfortable as other ships. But while the beautiful ships are wrecking at sea, the old ship of Zion keeps on going. It keeps on going. I was in a taxi cab the other day down south.